please understand, I say this because they happen. We had an airman who, for whatever reason, thought that his ID card can be used for computer access. It can't, right? It's just a piece of paper. So please just only use that. I know, right? These things happen. It is only, you can only use it to get access into places. But if you have any issues with that, if you're coming to 3-5, please let me know. If not, on the other side, the other squadron, just go to your first sergeant or MTLs over there. Cool? Yes, sir. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Master Sergeant Angel Garcia from the 737th Group, Detachment 5, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. Today's basic military training graduation is a celebration of the achievements of these graduating airmen. It is also a ceremony that both teaches and appreciates our Air Force military heritage. To maintain the proper decorum and respect for such events as this, we ask that you abide by the following standards while you are here. First, there will be times that you will be asked to stand for the invocation, the playing of the national anthem, and the singing of the Air Force song, the reciting of the oath of enlistment, and the Airman's Creed. Second, we ask that you remain silent during these times, reflecting on the price that has been paid for our freedom. Third, we ask that you pay respect to the flag during the national anthem. Military members in uniform will stand at attention. Civilians should stand and place their right hand over their heart. Veterans and military members not in uniform will also stand. They may place their right hand over their heart. After the last note of the national anthem, you may then keep standing and take your seats when asked. We also ask that all cell phones and other electronic devices be silenced at this time. Please reserve the strictest respect during the oath of enlistment. During this oath, airmen pledge their lives to support and defend the Constitution and our country. Please remember that the flight before you today has endured a unique 6-week journey, and these graduations are unique in that they are the first to take place outside of Joint Base San Antonio, Lackland, Texas, since 1968. At this time, please find a place to sit. Thank you, and enjoy today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the entrance of our official party. Please remain standing for the presentation of colors by the Keesler Honor Guard, led by Airman First Class Mia Johnson, the singing of our national anthem by Senior Airman Destiny Alvarado, and the invocation given by Chaplain Russell Ward.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled
Let us pray. Gracious God, we are here this morning to celebrate a tremendous accomplishment, the graduation of basic military training. Lord, these graduates worked relentlessly under these unusual circumstances, and they prevailed. They excelled through each challenge they faced, and they learned what it means to be an American airman. God, I thank you for the training instructors, leaders, and staff. Their tireless work and guidance made this ceremony and this day possible. Lord, as the graduates continue into the next phase of training, grant them grace and strength to live up to our highest ideals and faithfully embody our values. And finally, Lord, help us all set the sights even higher to our great hope and future. I pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Keesler Honor Guard, Airman Alvarado, and Chaplain Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Welcome to today's basic military training graduation. We would like to introduce our distinguished guests, beginning with the hosts for today's ceremony. The Commander, Technical Sergeant, Technical Operations Center, 2nd Air Force Base, Mississippi, Colonel Mike Smith. The Training Pipeline Manager, 2nd Air Force, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, Chief Master Sergeant David Cheney. Also in attendance with us today, the Interim Command Chief Master Sergeant, 2nd Air Force, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, Chief Master Sergeant Gregory Cross. Colonel Smith will review today's ceremony. Although time does not permit us to introduce all of our distinguished guests, the 737th Training Group is proud to welcome each of you. We hope you enjoy today's ceremony. Now focus your attention on the flight and instructors before you. From your left to your right, our military training instructor team leading Flight 564 is Team Chief, Technical Sergeant Chase Schaefer, Military Training Instructor, 737th Training Group, Detachment 5, Hometown, Honolulu, Hawaii. Team member, Technical Sergeant Marcos Garcia, Military Training Instructor, 737th Training Group, Detachment 5, Hometown, Abilene, Texas. Ladies and gentlemen, the graduating airmen before you today represent a portion of the 35,000 recruits who will complete basic military training this year. The 737th Training Group provides all recruits the essential military training to become motivated members of the enlisted corps of the greatest air and space force in the world. The military training instructors are responsible for the indoctrination, development, and discipline of the airmen. They have dedicated endless hours to ensure all training objectives are met. Today's graduates have proven through academic studies, military training, physical training, and the development of teamwork that they are ready to take their place in the United States Air and Space Force. This flight has endured a unique moment in our country's storied history and has proven to be up to the challenge. Their resilience, fortitude, and teamwork have led them to this moment of graduation and carrying forward our history and legacy. We would like to take a moment to congratulate all our detachment honor graduates as well as their families. Basic military training honor graduates distinguish themselves by being ranked in the top 10% of all airmen graduating in their class. The exceptional personal dedication, integrity, service before self, and sustained excellence these airmen displayed throughout basic military training earned them this outstanding distinction. Airman Basic Glenda Bernatz. Airman Basic Jordan Beasley. Airman Basic Lorena Holmes. Airman Basic Rebecca Petrica. Airman Basic Earth Josephine Cruz Santos. Before the airmen recite the oath of enlistment, we would like to thank all families and friends who are with us via live stream in support of our graduates. Your words of encouragement helped motivate these airmen through 6 weeks of basic military training. On behalf of the United States Air and Space Force and Air Force Basic Military Training, We extend our thanks to the many families and friends for continuously supporting our airmen and the greatest air power the world has ever known. Chief Cheney will now come forward and address our graduated airmen.
Thank you. Colonel Smith, thank you for the opportunity to get up here and speak. Chief Cross as well, thank you for the opportunity to come up here. I don't take this opportunity for granted. So to the families that are out there that tuned in, thank you so much for the support that you're given. Obviously, we all wish that you could be here, but just watching, and I'm sure you'll share the video later on with other members of family and friends. Just thank you for the support of our newest American Airmen. To our MTIs, thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and the hours and hours that you have invested in these volunteers as they transition from civilian life into service members. Really means a lot to our Air Force, and it's people like you that keep it moving. To the honorees, thank you for stepping up to plate. Thank you for taking a minute to stand up, put on the uniform, just like me, just like Colonel Smith, and all the other folks you see in the room. From this day forward, you're going to be known as a service member, and shoulder to shoulder, we'll serve our nation and the people that it stands for. Flight 564, I'd also like to say it would be remiss not to mention that you're the first female class that we've ever had at Keesler BMT that's all female. That's a pretty cool thing. So take that with stride, but I'm going to give you a couple of nuggets that I hope will shape some of your focus as you go through your career. Up to now, you've been tested on resiliency. You endured some of the challenges that I did not have to when I came through as an airman quite a few years ago. I didn't have to worry about the mask. I didn't have to go to graduation without some of my family members and those kind of things. So thank you for stepping up to the plate and fighting through the resilience challenges that you were tested with for this time. But it's going to get a little bit harder. You're about to step into technical training, and you're going to start learning about your career in the Air Force. And how exciting is it to know when you step into that school and learn this new job that you're going to be a professional student. What do I mean by professional student? Not only are we going to invest in you and give you some education about this career field, some technical or vocational training, we're also going to give you some college credits for some of the courses that you're going to be in, and we're going to pay you during that time. So I encourage you to just keep that in the back of your mind as you move through. As you move through your courses, and know that you're a professional student. For the first time in your life, you're getting paid to go to college. That's the way I like to look at it. And as you go through, I challenge you to be the best version of you. Don't copy other people because you want to be like them and you think you have to be them to be accepted. Emulate those great qualities that those individuals around you have and emulate that into yourself to be the best individual that you can be. Because that is the diversity that makes our Air Force and our service some of the best around the globe. From tech school, you're going to move on to your first duty location. And through your career, there's an investment strategy. And part of that investment strategy includes the supervisors and peers that are going to teach you on-the-job training and various things at that school or at that location. And it doesn't matter if you're Guard, Reserve, or active duty. It might look a little different, but there's still going to be a support system out there to help your development. And as you take that knowledge, just know that some of the tools that are going to teach you are going to take you through your entire career. So please give them the credit they deserve and take that into, once again, being the best version of you for a strong career in the military. So what you don't know about me is my job. I'm a carpenter and a welder, a sheet metal worker. I'm a builder. I create things. And so I would like to pass on what I call the 3 big B's. And they all stand for build, but the three big B's stand for this. Build your reputation, your trustworthiness, your work ethic, and action. If you focus on that, that's going to build the right reputation, and those things are going to precede your name, and you will be successful. Because action knows no discrimination. It doesn't care about gender, doesn't care about race, ethnicity, or even sexual orientation. Those actions stand on their own, and they will define who you are as a military member. Number 2 is build your resume. Build your own investment strategy to invest in yourself. Invest in education, certification, credentials, and most importantly, job knowledge. Because that's going to carry you through life, and it doesn't matter when you take the uniform off or how long you keep it on. It's going to make you a better version while you're in, make you more marketable and promotable through the time of your career. And then the third one is build your bank. It's even more important now with the blended retirement system that you take your money and you invest it to the best that you can. So when you're sitting up here like I am, getting very close to the end of your military service, that you have financial freedom and that you have that flexibility. Set yourself up for success, and it'll also help you throughout your career. And take it from me, I promise you, a new car does not feed the soul as much as a debt-free life. And then finally, the most important thing of this journey that you're starting, enjoy it. Enjoy the ride. You are going to make some of the best friends and new military family members that you'll remember the rest of your lives. You're going to go through challenges together, much like the COVID-19, which will bring you tighter. You might go to deployments and you might go through some harder things, which will bring you together and make a tight bond. But also, you're going to have some new experiences because of the service in the military that you would have never had before, and together with your wingmen and women, you will have first-time experiences that will be remembered for the rest of your lifetime. And on behalf of all airmen in the Air Force and also all service members that wear the uniform, thank you for volunteering to join our team. We are excited to see what you bring to our future Air Force. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to introduce you. Thank you, sir. I'd like to introduce you to my wingman, my boss, Colonel Smith. He's a fantastic leader, and he does quite a bit for all the 2nd Air Force and all the training environment to make sure that we get it right, all the way from basic training where you're going through now, all the way to some of us chiefs that are working up there on staff. So Colonel Smith, over to you, sir.
Hello out there in the live stream nation. Ladies, congratulations. Teammates and warriors, thank you for attending. Thank you for the service you've provided so far to these upcoming airmen. I was going to say future airmen, but you're basically there. No longer do you have to be called a trainee. You can now be called airman. That's fantastic. Welcome to our ranks. Chief, wise words. I love the fact that you brought up building the bank. That is one of the key things I think we need to remember to talk to all of our service men and women about, is that it's more than just our service. It's our growth as individuals, as people, and as teammates. One thing to remember that I took from what you said, and I'm butchering what you said, I'm paraphrasing, but it's that leadership is a choice. It's not a position. So whether you desire to be in and out quick, whether you desire to be Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force or Chief of Staff of the Air Force, whether your goal is to be a staff sergeant, a technical sergeant, a lieutenant, what matters is your choices. So what you build is based on those choices. And so I hope you choose wisely. Choosing the Air Force so far, I think, is a fantastic decision, We need you, your nation needs you, and your Air Force needs you. So I appreciate that. You can't see it from there. I'm not sure if you can see it live, but I've got a couple of badges on my uniform. I've got the Air Force badge. I have a civil engineering badge. I have pilot wings. I have a command badge, but most importantly, I have the American flag. Those are some of the choices I made. The Air Force allowed me those choices and the privilege of serving. And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, true peace is not merely the absence of tension, it is a presence of justice. And that justice is some of our choices. And especially in modern day, what we've been going through the last couple of months is that we will definitively provide better opportunities and better choices to the nation as a whole. And that encapsulates the Air Force. So whether you want to be a civil engineer, an officer, a pilot, or whatever, you have that opportunity, not just as women, but as Air Force members. I'm going to read up a couple. The last group commander of my flying unit, operations group, was Colonel Nancy Bozer. Fantastic leader, fantastic aviator. My current commander, 2nd Air Force Commander, Major General Tullis, female. Former top cop of the United States Air Force, amazing, amazing leader, amazing mentor. The current wing commander here at Keesler, the 81st Training Wing Commander, Colonel Heather Blackwell, outstanding commander and leader. The current command chief within the 81st, Chief Master Sergeant Esparza, female. The upcoming Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Joanne Bass, female. My sister, Lieutenant Colonel Jennifer Smith Klein, Judge Advocate, obviously female. The Commandant of the United States Air Force Academy, the greatest military university in the country, and I'd say the world. Maybe it's because I'm a graduate, but that's okay. Brigadier General, Major General Select, Michelle Edmondson, fantastic leader, mentor. They all started in some ways where you're at the basic building blocks of the United States Air Force. And they made choices along the way to continue serving, to advance their education, and provide capability for themselves, the Air Forces, and their families. So what I ask of you is to think of those choices. Think of those mentors and leaders around you. Latch onto them, ask them questions, decide what you want to do with your life, and then make those choices to make it happen. We are here to help, all of us. So thank you very much. That being said, we're going to build you into airmen. Are you ready to join the ranks of the world's greatest air and space force? I think they're ready. That's awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand. As Colonel Smith will now administer the oath of enlistment. Military training instructor, place your flight at attention.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I will obey the orders of the President of the United States. And the orders of the officers appointed over me. According to regulations. And the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. Airmen, congratulations.
Thank you, Colonel Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as our newest airmen recite the Airman's Creed and remain standing for the singing of our Air Force song, followed by the departure of our official party. I am an American Airman.
I am a warrior. I have answered my nation's call. I am an American Airman. My mission is to fly, fight, and win. I am faithful to a proud heritage, a tradition of honor, and a legacy of valor. I am an American Airman, guardian of freedom and justice. My nation's sword and shield, its sentry and avenger. I defend my country with my life. I am an American Airman, wingman, leader, warrior. I will never leave an airman behind. I will never falter, and I will not fail.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder.
Climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Adam now, give her the gun, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flames from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or go down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
Thank you. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for attending the 737th Training Group, Detachment 5 graduation. It has been an honor to serve as your narrator for today's special event. This concludes today's ceremony. Have a great day.